Hello, and welcome back to the Joy of Painting Middle-earth. I'm Timbo Took, and we're here in the Hobbit hole, ready to paint another painting for you. I'm happy you've joined me. Today, we're going to paint a scene with one of my favorite characters, and I'm sure he's probably one of your favorite characters too. That's right, Treebeard. Oh, as a young hobbit, Treebeard just fascinated me, and I loved him. I did have a chance to meet him once. Oh, he's very intimidating, I'll tell you that. But I was with my grandpappy Took, and so he was good friends with him. I'm sure you know the story. Let's pick it up there. Now, I've covered my canvas with a liquid white. That's right, that magic white that Bob Ross the Blue taught me to paint with. But I was already doing a little bit of painting this morning, and I picked up some other color in there. As I put it on, the color came off the brush, and that's not that big of a deal. In fact, sometimes you can even add a little bit of maybe black, just to give it a gray tone. That way you know where exactly you've put the magic white down. And you can always test it. There we go. You can always test it by touching your finger to it, and if you can still see the fingerprint through it, you know you have enough magic white down. If you have too much and you can't see the fingerprint in there, just take a paper towel and wipe some of it off. Okay, let's get right to it today. We're going to come into our phthalo blue. There we go. And I've got the colors titanium white, phthalo blue, alizarin crimson, sap green, burnt umber, ivory black. I can't remember which yellow that is. It's not always that important. So I've just loaded this blue up on the brush. And I'm going to come up here and we're just going to drop in a quick sky. Oh, look at that. Phthalo blue is quite a dark blue. So let's grab a little bit of our titanium white. Lighten this up. And there we go. There we go. This will be, it's an evening sky when it's just starting to get dark. There we are. Maybe there might be some stars that are starting to come out. I don't know. Let's clean off that brush. Clean it off. Okay. We cleaned it off with an odorless paint thinner. And of course, I'm not painting outside today, so I don't beat my brush against the easel to beat the Sauron out of it. But I just have a rubbish bin and I beat it down in there. Here we go. So come from the bottom, and we're just going to soften the sky up a bit. Soften it up. There we go. Now just come across, just lightly. Just take some of those brush strokes out. There we go. Clean off that brush. Just come back and do it again. There we are. Now, the way we've done the sky, we haven't mixed it all together. That just gives us a little indication of some clouds in there. But if we want to put some more, just come in to our white with the corner of the brush. And we just drop in a cloud there. Oh, I think I still had a little too much blue on the brush. That's okay. We'll just drop that off. Pick up a fan brush. There we go. Load up some white. And just come right back over it. There we go. Just put that onto the canvas. It'll pick up some blue as you go. There we go. Grab a little more. Drop them in here. Oh, I've got so much blue on there. That's okay. Now, we don't want a lot of clouds today. Just lift those clouds Just lift them and pull them. There we go. Just that bottom. We'll just drop in a few more. And then we'll move on with our painting. We just want this. Just drop those in, and then with the other side of the brush, just circle them in. Now, we'll just grab a clean, dry brush. And then just lift those clouds. There we go. Very gently, very lightly. Okay, that's good for the clouds. Let's get on to a mountain. There we go. Just going to clean off my brushes real quick. Okay, now we're going to have some mountains over here, just way off in the distance. Not much to worry about. We're just going to take some of our ivory black. We'll put it right in here with this blue. Mix it in. Maybe grab a touch of alizarin crimson. Just pull that out, pull it out, pull it out. There we go. Just pick it up right off the palette and then flatten it out. There we go. Come back and just cut a little roll of paint across. All right, we'll start right here. There we go. Just scrape off that excess. You're not too worried about it. Just that line. You want that nice solid line on the outside. There we go. Now, we'll just grab our 1-inch brush and let's make some decisions here. Okay, we're going to bring this down. Down, down, down to Goblin Town. No, not that one. Okay. There we go. Just make some angles here. Just pull that paint. Spread it across. There we go. There we go. There we go. Now you can put some of that paint, just knock it off your brush down at the bottom. That'll all get covered. There we go. There we go. Just bring it down, down, down. As I said, those are off in the distance. And we'll grab our palette knife. Now they're quite tall mountains, so they do have some snow on them. So we're just going to go in. Just pick up some of our titanium white. And now you gotta think, let's see, we'll go right here. So just with a light touch, just come and let the paint break right off the brush. There we go. There we go. Give yourself some angles in there. There we are. Now, you see, this is going to be a bit in the shadow there. So what we'll do is we'll mix up a shadow color for over there. We don't want it too bright. So we dull it down a little bit, cut a row across, and now this part will be in the shadow. That'll give us some shadow back there. Take the small part of your knife. There you go. Give some shadow. Now let's come back to our white. Get a row, and now we're going to come right across here. There we go. Just let that paint get picked up by the canvas. And give yourself some angles there. There we go. Come back to our shadow color. There we go. Oh, we're picking up some reds in there too. There we go. All of that just gives us some, just gives our mountain some personality. There we are. Now, that's off in the distance. Maybe we'll come, and one more, we can just make a peak here. Just bring it down. There we are. There we go. Now, since that is off in the distance, the bottom will be very hazy. So we're just going to tap that in, but remember to follow those lines on our mountain as we come up. There we go. And I see one more spot. We want to do just one more. There we go. And again, just tap that up. Okay. We've put down a good background there. Now we want to get to the forest. This is the Entmoot, and they're in a dingle that's right down here, a clearing in the fields. But this is surrounded by Fangorn Forest. So, we need to make some of those hills of Fangorn Forest. So what we'll do, we have our dark color here that we used for the mountain. We're just going to pick up some sap green, and we're going to go right into that. Just make that a dark green. Just tap that right into your brush. There we go. Now, back here, there are forests covering the hills. There we go. Just bring these down. These are way off in the distance. These are just background trees and things. Some are closer than others. Just vary your colors in there. Just vary those colors. Some of this forest will march up the mountain just a little ways. There we go. They march up those angles back there. Now, if you just gently lift straight up, it'll give the appearance of those trees coming straight up. There we go. There we go. Just fill this in with all sorts of trees. Lift up, 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 up. There we go. Now we're going to fill the bottom. We're going to fill this. Just come to our dark here, and we're going to do this very quickly. There we go. There we go. Just fill that in down there. See, I said don't worry about those colors. They'll get all filled in. And it gets lighter as it comes up. There we go. It's a bit shaky. You might have to put one of your big old hobbit feet on the easel to hold it steady. I've been known to knock a painting clear off. Knock a painting clear off my easel. Okay. Now, towards the back here, we can just take some of our white just put it in and lift and lift. Gives you more separation. More little things to look at. There we go. Just follow the lines. Just lift them straight, straight, straight up. There we go. A little more of those. A little bit more of that. Okay. Now that's all background there. So let's fill in with some trees and things. All right. I have no idea how I'm going to do this really. I just kind of started painting. No thought to it whatsoever. Now, we're going to go to our dark right here. And we want this line right here. Just lift this up. This will be the edge of the dingle here. This is where the Ents enter in. You may think, oh, that's awful dark. But this is Fangorn Forest. It is a dark, dark place. Okay, there we go. Just lift those straight up. There we go. Now, clean off that brush. Now we're going to go again into that, get our dark, dark green. Now, we're going to come on top of here. And we're going to put down a canopy. Just bend that brush. If you pick up some of the paint might be a little too thick that you're putting on. We'll see. Thick paint will pick up a thinner paint, and a thinner paint will lay right down on top of a thick paint. If you have to, get a little paint thinner on the brush. And we're just dropping this canvas of trees right on top. There we go. And be sure to flip your brush. Use the different sides of it. These trees just stretch to the back. Stretch back for miles and miles and miles. I need to be more like Bob Ross the Blue and just trust the canvas to take the paint where it needs to. Now, the tops of these trees, some of them will pick up more sunlight than others. So we go to our yellow. Dull it out up here. And we'll see some of these trees that come down. And then we pick up that little highlight. There we go. There we are. Just put these trees in. Every now and then, just drop some of these different highlight colors in, just to separate it. Now remember, as you're going up the hill, don't turn your brush like this. Keep it level, because trees don't grow this way just because they're going up a hill. They always reach up, always reach towards the sun. Now these are details you can take all day filling in. We don't want to take too long on these, but I just want to show you what you can do, how easy it is to fill in some of those shapes. There we go. Just let those lights and darks play off each other, just like in your story. There we are. Now let's put some grass down here. Give us a nice grassy green. Just brighten up that dingle. This is where Ents come to have their Entmoot. That's right. They had to have a meeting to see if they would get involved with what was going on in the world. I'm sure you remember. My grunkle, Mary, and Grandpappy Took were left by Gandalf with Treebeard. They were left for safekeeping there, and Treebeard took them to the Entmoot. And oh, did they think it was taking too long. Oh, you should have heard my Grandpappy Took tell that story. Oh, he would have made it sound like the Entmoot lasted 100 years. Grandpappy Took. But I can still hear him now. Oh, Timbo, don't be hasty, don't be hasty. That's what old Treebeard would say, don't be hasty. I heard that the whole time I was a young hobbit. There we go. I probably should have done this with a bigger brush. But that's okay. Nobody's perfect. Just vary your colors in there. There we go. Okay, now this is where our meeting takes place. So, let's get to the guest of honor, shall we? All right. Let me just get a little bit of paint thinner on there. There we go. And we'll darken this up so we can put some highlights in as we need. Now, oh, Treebeard. He comes in right here. Now, all the other different types of Ents had come to see Treebeard and find out what was going on in the world. And he was there to tell them. Now, I know we're a long ways off, and it might be a little hard to see Treebeard in all of his glory, but I promise one day we will paint a closer picture of Treebeard. We just wanted to get the Entmoot today. And when they got there, there was every kind of Ent you could imagine. Beech, oak, birch, chestnut. Oh, they were all here. Tall ones, short ones. Some were thick, some were thin. But none were young. No saplings. Some had leaves. Some had moss. Some had none. Now, normally I don't do these small details on the paintings because they do take quite some time, you know. And our time together is limited. But everybody loves the Entmoot. And what you do is you just put down this dark color and then you can go and highlight. Some have short, stout legs. Others have long legs. Maybe one is just arriving. And we'll come here and put another. This one is a very tall, skinny one. So you see, you could go on putting as many Ents as you want. Sometimes you may want to come back and put details in later. Let your paint, if your paint dries, you can always go right on top of it. So you can add some of these details later. I just think I'll put a few highlights in there so you know it's not just a shadow blob. And you have to remember they're trees standing in the forest, so they don't always stand out. Some will more than others. This one might be a birch. Or at least a herder of the birch tree. And this is Treebeard here, so let's put a little bit of moss on him. There we go. And let's just quickly finish some of these others up. There is our Entmoot. And that birch. Let's maybe put a few yellow leaves crowning his head. And maybe his hand too. There we go. Now let's put some trees and things that are closer to us, where we're spying it. Oh, maybe you think I should put a couple hobbits in there too. Well, they'd be very tiny in this place. But they would be looking on, sitting on a rock off to the side. Sitting on a big rock. And just so we know it's them, just a red coat. Oh, and we'll just make this a yellow coat just so you can see it. Just so you can see it. Our little hobbits there, listening in. Merry and Pippen. Oh, Grandpappy Took loved this story. Okay, now let's maybe we'll put some of our evergreen trees right along the edges. Okay, let's mix up a bit of that dark green. We'll come in right about here. This is one of our stout-heartedness tests. Not too bad, because we're not going to cover our Ents. We're just coming right over here. And just give ourselves a line to follow. And then let's just march it down. Just these zigzag patterns, back and forth and back and forth. There we go. Let's give another over there. There we go. These trees are listening in. They're very interested in what's going on down there. They know it could very well mean something for their fate. Just back and forth. Just zigzag, zag and zig and zig and zag. That's right. You got it. There we go. Why, let's do a third one. Why not? Why not? He'll come up maybe even a little further. Okay, just with the corner of our brush. Just gonna go back and forth. Back and forth. There we go. All right. Let's give the indication of a tree trunk in there. Some of those. You don't have to see the whole thing, but just right in there. There we go. You don't see the whole tree, but you do see parts of it now and again. We're going to come back with a green. Just do some of these little highlights. There we go. Come back up. There we are. You don't want to go over the entire thing, but you do want to give some color variation. Oh, there we go. Even on him back there. Now let's highlight this. Okay. Grab a little bit of that yellow. That's what the sun will be grabbing. I might not have gotten enough off of that, but just a little bit of highlight there. There we go. Not as much as you get to the bottom. There we go. Grab some of that green again, and we'll do just some grass. Some grass right along here. There we are. Bring that hill right over this way. Now, maybe there's some bushes in here. Let's grab our little 1-inch brush. Grab some of that dark green first. There we go. There's some bushes right there. That you come upon. Now, let's just give those bushes a little highlight. Let's maybe grab. Oh, that might be too much, but we'll orange this up a little. There we go. Now just plop some bushes there. Maybe make just a little more of an orange. We don't want to go full red like that, but mix it into an orange and just give a few touches there. Just there. Just there. There we go. There we are. Now let's come over and put some trees here. And that should finish up our Entmoot. Okay. So let's do that again. Probably should have done all these at the same time, but that's how it goes. Here we go. Just go right over our mountain there. Just give ourselves a line, and then with the corner of the brush, just zigzag back and forth and back and forth. There we go. Just bring them right down. Let's do another one. Every tree has to have a friend. Okay, we'll make him a tall, tall one. That's right. Just give yourself a line to follow, then come back up. You don't have to go all the way down because that'll get lost on its way. But just back and forth. Back and forth. There we go. Just some bushes and things at the bottom. There we go. Now, let us just put the indication of a trunk in there. There we go. You don't have to do it all the way down again, but that looks good. Now, let's get some of that dark off the brush. Let's come into our green if we have much left. We're getting there. We're getting there. And just give some highlights right on top of these darks. There we go. Grab what little bit of green we have left. We can always go get more if we need, but it's fine right there. There we go. Let's mix up a little highlight color. There we are. And we'll come and just do a few highlights here. That's right. That's right. And it'll be darker at the bottom. There we go. Well, we had our little 2-inch brush here, or 1-inch brush. We'll just use the 1-inch brush. This is just a hill. We're at the top of the hill and we've spied an Entmoot going on. How lucky are we? They haven't happened for an age. There we go. Just knock some of that darker color off and we'll come back to our highlight grassy green. Right over the top of him. right over the top. There we go. We're at the top of this hill, just looking down on that moot. There we are. How about one more thing? One more thing. Clean off our brush. How about an old fallen log right here? This log fell down, just laying on the ground right here. Let's see. This will give us a place to sit and watch. Watch from up here. What is going on down there? There's a nice light highlight color for our tree that fell over. Poor little guy. Didn't know what happened. There we go. Oh, this fan brush really got a workout today. That's right. We really put it to him today. Now, just come back in, and as this log has fallen down, just bring the grass up right over him. There we go. That puts him right into the picture proper. There we are. There we go. So we've been hiking through the forest and we stumble upon an Entmoot. How lucky have we been today? Now, one last thing to do. We're just going to get a little bit of paint thinner, thin this out, just so we can sign it. I think I forgot to do that on the last few times we've been together. I forgot to sign it while we were still together, so I'll do that now. Okay, I hope you've had a lot of fun today on The Joy of Painting Middle-earth. This painting, there are a lot of details you can really go back and put in if you like. Or if you're a splendid artist, you can get in there and do each one of those Ents. We'll maybe save that for another day. But for now, this is just a fun painting where we've stumbled upon the Entmoot. Alright, again, thank you for joining me. Goodbye and God bless. Thank you for joining me on today's painting. I'm so happy you were with me. Now, if you'd like to continue to go on painting adventures with me, become part of my fellowship. And you do that by clicking that subscribe button below. Yes, and be sure to give it a like and a share. That would be oh so helpful. Now, we don't know how many of these seeing stones are unaccounted for. So we don't know who else is watching. I've got to go. Have a good day.